Hello everyone, Dave here with some thoughts in general for you guys. I've received a few comments, some emails regarding sort of what my approach is, what my philosophy is, where I'm coming from with my reviews, so I thought it would probably be a good time to get an intro out there and sort of let you guys know where I'm coming from. Well, I am both a user and a collector of knives, probably been for the last 12, 15 years or so. My tastes have varied throughout the years. I've experimented, taken a look at all types of different knives, and over the last, I don't know, maybe 5 or so, I've sort of crystallized what I'm looking for in my collection and sort of what I need to use and what I like to use. So these videos have sort of come about because I've seen what's out there on YouTube and figured I would just like to contribute, maybe add a different perspective, maybe shed a little light on things, just offer everyone a little bit more to think about, or, just provide some thinking material for them. Let's see, where to start? I guess when I look at a knife, or when I look to purchase a knife, there's a lot that goes in my mind. Some of the main things that I tend to look at are, basically, let's see, qualities of the knife, usability of the knife, intended uses, actual uses, potential uses of the knife, the materials of the knife in question, the materials, the maker, the history, the legacy of a knife. All these things sort of go into it. Where to start? I guess the best place, and probably where I tend to look at, are the materials of a knife. The knife industry, as you all know, over the last, I would say, 5 years or so, has really accelerated in all the types of materials, designs, uniqueness. It's really almost a renaissance in the knife making industry of what's going on out there. With the advances of technology, the materials being used are just so much better than they used to be in the old days. You get a lot more variety. The designs the knife makers are able to come out with, it's basically shifted the way everyone sort of looks at knives, anywhere from the use of the knife to the materials, the designs, you name it, it's all changed. So a lot of the things that I look at are maybe the uniqueness of a knife, the history of a knife, the legacy, why the designer came out with it, what makes a knife so special, why would I use that knife. Uses are a big thing, and a lot of the designers or commentary out there or YouTube videos talk about the use of a knife, where it's going to come into play, and that's going to vary from person to person, so you're not going to hear me talking a lot about that. It's really a very individual thing. A lot of the terms out there, EDC versus tactical. My thoughts on that are really pretty rudimentary, in the sense that a knife is really just a tool. It's designed to cut. What it cuts, how it cuts, where it cuts, those are all the decisions of the individual, What it comes down to is the expertise, the proficiency of the user, the mentality, the character, if you will, of the person. The knife really is just a tool. How well you're going to be able to use a knife in any situation, whether it's from whittling to self-defense to whatever you name it, isn't going to be so much a function of the knife itself, in my opinion. While it does come into play, there is a limit to how far that alone is going to carry it. The experiences, the expertise, the proficiency, the training, the mentality of the individual are really what is going to be the deciding factor in how well that knife performs. At least that's in my opinion. You could give the best knife, the highest quality knife, to a lay person, and the outcome is pretty much the same as a butter knife, arguably. Of course, the better the knife, it will lend some advantage. The design, the practicality of it all will come into play, but not so much so as the individual themselves. So I won't be really discussing that at all. How you choose to employ a knife, engage it, do whatever, that's entirely up to you, your situation, your circumstances. So that's it. For me, in particular, it's one of the considerations when I buy a knife. What is the intended use of the knife? What will I actually use it for? And what are some of the potential uses? Those are all definitely things that come into play and are worth considering, I think, when anyone looks into a knife. I like to, or at least I've come up with a classification scale for my own. It bears nothing to anyone out there, and I'll put it in the comments area, or in the description rather. And I sort of classify them as custom knives, which is exactly what it sounds like. Custom designs, each one handcrafted, individually built, the materials hand selected. Those are your custom knives, stuff that you're going to pay a premium for because of the work, more the labor than anything else. There are other knives that come along that line, super premium knives, which feature the best and latest materials out there, things that put them apart when you start combining things like, I don't know, carbon fiber with high-grade steels, things like that. That takes you into sort of another category of super premium or premium knives that offer something above and beyond just the capabilities of the knife. They add something more. Then there are your premium knives, which I think are representative of sort of a best-in-class. They're designed with an intent and a purpose to do something very particular, something very individual, something specific to that knife. It's something that you probably can figure out from yourself from both the descriptions of the creators, the designers, whoever have you. It's things like that define a premium knife. It's really what you would sort of say, I need a knife to do this task, what's the best I can get, what's the best knife for this job, and then you're in the premium category. Along that, or slightly less in that line, you're going to get your high quality knives, which are essentially, again, sort of a top in their class. They're going to perform exceptionally well. They're going to be designed and use the materials necessary to do that task. However, they may not be the most premium materials. They are usually production quality. They will not offer maybe some of the same finishing or some of the other things that you would expect from a super premium knife, but they're still going to get the job done. Those are your high quality knives. Then you sort of get into the quality area where you start to sacrifice certain things. Maybe it's a lesser grade steel, maybe the handle material will be a little bit different, maybe the ergonomics aren't going to be as good. It's sort of the performance you're getting, but you're sacrificing something. It could be any number of things that could get into it. So those are your what I would call quality knives. There's something that you can rely on. Failure isn't something you're going to see in the blade. It's just you're going to be sacrificing some degree that you may find in a premium or super premium knife, but it's not necessarily intrinsically necessary for the task at hand. Then finally there's the idea of the common knife, which you're going to start sacrificing quality materials, quality of build, exclusivity of the knife, absolutely. Those are going to be really knives that you would put towards a task that you feel that you can sacrifice the knife, lose the knife, or be ready to accept some sort of failure on the knife. Those are your type of blades that, while they will perform well, they aren't expected to be your, I guess, best in class, your solution for a given problem. It's along those lines where I sort of classify things. I've put in basically some arbitrary retail pricing of what I sort of have seen at the time of this video that sort of classifies those knives. Now, pricing is something entirely different because, and I've used retail pricing because depending on the dealer, incentives that the company may offer them to push the knife, special rebates, inventory. There's a lot of different reasons why a price is going to vary. So price is probably, it's an arbitrary classification, but it's something that you should consider. Just out there. I just threw it out there to give you an idea sort of what I consider or what those classifications of knives are currently going for in the market. Take it for what you will. Nothing's set in stone. At the end of the day, I am probably more of a collector than a user because there are certain knives, like this guy that I've had for over a decade, that just gets used and used because it performs just like I would want it to, and I don't need anything else, for the tasks I have at hand. There are other knives that I like for any number of reasons that I will use, that I bought, because they personify, they show something different, something unique, something I like, and I think something that makes that knife special or something that I want to have that I think is just worthy of a purchase, if you will, something that's worth my time and money and investment. So that's basically where I'm coming from. I hope that sort of helps you guys get an idea from my videos what's going on. I won't tell you how to use a knife, I will just tell you about the knife. That's what it comes down to. So that's about it. Questions, comments, maybe we'll get a part 2 to this, who knows. Thanks again, bye bye.